Hi everyone, so something a little bit different for this video. I'm joined by Terrance. He's going to help me do a rundown of the newest FAQ. So, hi
Hey
Terrance.
guys. Hey.
Yep. So, a couple of big things from the FAQ. I mean, the biggest one's obviously the timing clarifications for the timing chart. Have you had a good look at it and, dreams come true? Any big changes you like or just,
Uh, for me, I think it's the best is just the clarity, right? Like
yeah,
just having when you go into a tournament structure and you wanna have those games that everybody knows what's going on. There's no let's call the TO over because no one knows what's happening here. So I think for me that's the biggest thing. Is just it's clear and concise and there's no arguing about it anymore.
I think if it had come out in wave four with like advanced cloaking device stuff like that, it would have been just normal now, and everyone would be really happy about it.
Yeah.
But it's just new, scary, and different. And 8 waves in, we've finally got a timing chart for how attacking actually works. So,
That's
yeah,
true. It's been slowly getting more and more refined, right? Like when we first released them, there was really only attack and defend. And
yeah,
you spend a focus or you don't spend a focus was about the only question that you had.
yeah,
The clarity of the rules at the time was perfect, and as we get more and more technical and deeper into the layers, this is what becomes of it.
yeah. So, I mean, I've done a quick list of what I think are the winners and the losers from the timing chart and a couple of changes. Um, the winners are pretty short, to be honest. I think Dengar got a big buff from it, the fact that he can't die.
Hmm.
In the same way, the Painbot got a buff as well. They both get to function even if you're destroyed. You don't need a simultaneous fire rule to keep you in the game anymore.
Yeah, the big thing there too is the fact that Dengar can fire back and painbot you on the same attack where you kill him. So potentially putting 4 or 5 damage back on you. And
Yeah,
maybe you only have to remove 1 point of damage on him.
yeah. And
So
uh, you can potentially have a gunner on Dengar as well, and that would still kick in before he died. I wouldn't advise it. I don't think gunner on Dengar is the best choice because most of the time you turn off his ability with it.
yeah,
But
well you're essentially never going to use it the first time because you might use it the second time. So
yeah, but
yeah.
theoretically it would work. Then the only other winner I can think of it, and this one's a give and take kind of winner, but the TLT on the Ghost with a Doc Phantom
Hmm.
gets the full battery of attacks now. So
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to go into this later, but thinking of lists and things that you can do to really exploit 4 attacks around now with the TLT is it's interesting. There's some
yeah,
options out there for sure.
yeah, we can chat about that later on. I mean, the loser side of it is obviously fire control system on the Ghost with a TLT doesn't work until after you've fired both.
Right.
So fire control system only functions after the attack's finished. It's an after attack thing now.
Hmm.
So I was a little bit disappointed because I was running TLT, Han, and fire control for some crazy
For full
modifier.
mods on everything. Yeah.
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 Then for the loser column, this one's a bit bigger. Um, I wasn't gonna open with a big one, so I think I'll throw in like Vader Crew. Oh no, that one's been nerfed. You can Vader Crew twice now.
So they closed the loophole, is what you're saying,
Yeah,
because that was ridiculous. I think we can all agree, ridiculous.
yeah. Um, again, said fire control system. Valen Rudor only gets to do it once per attack as well now, so he can't double action off a TLT shot.
Oh,
So
thank God. We're finally going to, have all those Valen Rudors off the tables.
yeah, it deserved it. So powerful. Um, I don't know.
I don't know why they didn't throw in a nerf to Fell's Wrath during this one, too. I mean, had to be another way to put him down a peg.
Oh, there is. Take boost off him so we can't have auto thrusters. Oh, such a bad card.
Good times.
We'll get into it then. U boats. think they lost a little bit, slightly? Maybe?
I think they lost a little bit on the skill floor. I think the skill floor for them comes up a bit, which isn't a bad thing. But I think you look at the skill ceiling on that list, or any list that includes those the U-boats with the three of them. I think good players were going to be going towards more options on the crew side anyway. So
Yeah.
the skill ceiling's unaffected, but the floor comes up a little bit because you don't have that really, really easy way to get modifications on the attack dice right off the bat.
So obviously we're talking about the change to R4 Agromech now only functioning after because there isn't a defender until after you've paid the price. So you can't deadeye it and you can't use it on a blaster turret. It
Right.
doesn't function with blaster turret anymore. So that's what I've seen it. I've seen people complaining, "Oh no, they've nerfed my Cavill now." It's like, really, having nerfed your Cavill because you were taking that to Worlds. Yeah, okay.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah. I mean, I'll happily give that up on Cavill to have the U-boats brought into line a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, it's not even that much, right? Like if someone wants to fly U-boats and be good at it, they're still going to bring them and they're still going to be decent. But it just makes it's a little less point and click for everybody.
I think we were chatting about it earlier on in the day, and mathematically, overclocked is just the same. As long as if you fire in protons, obviously the target lock was better because you've got semi-modification in there as well.
Yeah.
But for the plasmas, the focus is just as good as a target lock mathematically.
Well, it just comes down to the negative side, right? So the R4 Agromech didn't have a negative. There was no stress induced to do it. So now you're saying you effectively get the same thing, but now you've got to deal with the consequences on the next turn.
And it also, you get the benefit of it being a point cheaper. So
yeah,
I feel
for sure.
I feel like we're balanced against each other personally, and I know the Spanish regionals had already been won by overclocked. I know that forgot the guy's name, whoever it was who won the first Open Series. I'm sure he had overclocked on some of them.
Yeah, I think he had it on one of them.
Yeah. So people have already been taking overclocked over R4. It was nice that it was a choice. Obviously, it now isn't a choice.
Right.
But I think R4 still has its place, but it's not as good as it was on that kind of ship. And then the other losers were TLT Tactician, the K-Wing Danger Zone list. So.
And not something that I think I'm all that sad to see go. Like we were talking about this earlier again today too, but the ability to apply 2 stress to somebody and have them not really have any way to respond is very, very, very strong.
Yeah.
And having it only in the one faction, there's it's tough, right? It's tough for the other factions when you look at the control stress side of it to keep up. So we've got the stress hog and the tactician K-wings was I don't know. Yeah. I think it was a little bit too much.
I wouldn't mind seeing tacticians lose limited now.
I don't know. 3 tacticians on a YV.
It's not going to do much more, though, is it? That's all it's going to do. I'd like to see it. I might just play test it one day, have a fun game.
For sure. Let's play test that. Yeah, I'll show you how much fun it can be.
It's okay. I'll just take fire control system and fly straight at you. I'll sit at range 1. We'll trade punches. No, I understand. I think that's more. I don't think anything was purposely nerfed. I think a lot of it was just clarified, and in the clarification, certain things got better, some got worse.
Yeah, and I don't think it was I don't think they went into this saying we got to take care of those K-wings with tactician because that's ridiculous. Yeah. I think they just went, if we rule it this way, what are the outcomes? and if we rule it the other way, because there's really only two ways for it to go.
Yeah.
If we rule it the other way, what's affected, right? And they just said, okay, this way affects more or less things, or pushes the game in a direction that we as designers want to design into.
Yeah.
And I think they just made that choice, and then they said, here, guys, here's the fallout. And really, at the end of the day, for any tournament goer, we're going to be playing under whatever the rule set is.
Yeah.
So as long as everybody's playing under the same rule set, it really doesn't matter what the rule set is, right? As long as it's an even playing field. So, I mean, I'm personally not all that shaken up about it. I mean, I think this is great just to have the clarity in all of these interactions, and it just makes it a lot easier to go into those games with, looking at specific interactions within that chart, and being able to help educate your opponent if they don't already know. You can just say, oh, here's a clear diagram. This is the part that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the timing chart overall. I think that it's an actually really good thing for a game. I'm glad Frank finally got the chance to do it and make it reality. It's been needed. I think there's too many just corner cases now. So that's the timing chart put to bed, really. We'll go on, and just some of the other big changes. I think I got most of the ones that jumped out at me, but start off with spending tokens. So I'm not going to run Lando and 3PO on a Ghost anymore with experimental interface, because you'd evade, and then AI into Lando, guess 2, roll 2 evades, get your 4 evades on the Ghost.
Yeah, just that seems reasonable. Reasonable.
I don't feel like not being able to spend more than 1 token for the same effect is a bad thing. It's only for once per base effect. They've left it open for a card to receive multiple spendings, but every card I can think of at the moment is limited to once per attack anyway.
Right.
But the FAQ only covers the base function of that token. So
yeah, it's not about, so it said even within it that you can spend it on, say, something like calculation, or you can spend focus on something that requires focus to activate.
Yeah.
But then you can also spend focus for its inherent base ability. You just can't use its base ability twice.
Yeah. So
which makes a lot of sense. I mean, we can't activate calculation twice, right? You can't activate, other things that require the spending of tokens. You can't activate them multiple times. So
yeah,
I think it's in line, right? And I think it's clear. I think the big nerf there was on the agromech interactions, right?
Yeah, I think it's a big one. Like, you can't go with a rec spec agromech and spend a focus to change 0 dice attack and then spend a token again.
Well, and in the last tournament we played in, that's exactly what I ran on Manaru.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was doing. I was guaranteeing 2 or 3 hits on every single roll that I went with the primary turret. So
yeah, and that's you could go. Now you've got to take I would say calculation. So you can calculation, then get your target lock from agromech, then spend a token to convert any eyeballs to normal hits.
That's a pretty heavy tax, though, right? Your EPT and a point. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Bosk. I'll still do it on Bosk.
Okay, maybe.
I've seen Rexpec Bosk before, and that's Rexpec Bosk calculation, and that's pretty worrying, with K4 as well. So he just, I'm going to spend 1 on calculation, get my crit. But I always think that spending too many points on Bosk, trying to trigger his ability is a trap.
Yep. 12 hit points don't go very far behind 1 defense die.
The other people who lose from that one, obviously I said about Lando on the Ghost is a big loser. I'm not sorry to see Ezra take a bit of a hit, because that was fucking ridiculous. Some of the Ezra builds you can do with Janor's crew evading, pushing to focus, which becomes an evade. He's got stress now, so he's automatically converting focus, and that was not fun. So I'm glad that one took a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Screw you, Aaron. It's your fault. I played, played against Aaron Luco, running running that Ezra, and he's an asshole to deal with. Um, Other changes, reinforced deflectors got clarified. So we were playing it that the person with initiative would choose the order between that and plasma torpedoes.
The plasma torpedo one that comes off because of the plasma torpedo effect doesn't count as
Doesn't
damage dealt,
count,
right?
but
Right.
it doesn't count as damage dealt, but reinforced deflectors triggers after it.
Right.
So it on the ghost, it's pretty good because you're going to take 3 hits minimum. So you're going to get it cancels out plasma torpedoes
Right.
as long as you take the 3 hits. And it is any damage dealt within that attack as well. So I believe stuff. I believe Vader's included in that attack because it hasn't resolved yet. Anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because Vader is. Well, what's the timing on the deflector now?
Yeah, because that happens at the end. The attacker's stuff happens first.
For defending. Maybe attack. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
It's resolve one of the attacker's effects first, then loop back round, and have fun reading your chart.
Right.
Other clarifications we had was Dengar's ability trumps Biggs. So
Yep.
if you can't hide behind Biggs and shoot at Dengar, it's still going to get you. I'm happy with that. I'm a big fan of Biggs, but anything that swaps him down a little bit, keeps him out of the meta.
I actually think that's actually a little bit of a buff to Biggs because what you're effectively doing is saying that, hey, you want to burn Biggs down, but you can't because now if you want to return fire, you have to return it on that ship, and spreading damage is never a good thing.
Oh, you
right?
can't just wait until Biggs shoots you.
You could, yeah, and then see if he does or does not.
Would you choose not to shoot Dengar? I never think
Probably.
that's the right option. Not
Probably.
shooting Dengar is never the correct option.
Only with the guy you don't want to have killed.
Yeah. What else have I got down? Extra munitions trumps Boba Fett.
Yep.
Yeah, which
was interesting because you
I
can.
feel like that was obvious.
Yeah, I think it's obvious, but the clarity on it's nice. The other interesting thing is that you can use any munitions token in place of Boba Fett taking off a munitions token for taking off that card. So if you have 2 missiles and 2 torpedoes, you have extra munitions or whatever, you can choose any one of those tokens to take off in place of extra munitions card.
So you know that's going to need FAQing again because people are now going to argue that extra munitions is a munition. So you should put a munition on extra munitions. So you can remove.
There you go.
All your munitions tokens get munitions token when you
right.
extra munitions. So extra munitions should get one. So
yeah, if Boba Fett is used to discard an upgrade card that has the ordnance token on it, including the extra munitions upgrade card itself, you may discard an ordnance token instead.
Yeah. So that's got to mean the token on the card. It doesn't say it explicitly, but that's what it means. You can discard the extra munitions token instead of the card.
Instead of the card, yeah.
You take
Interesting.
You take Deadeye anyway.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Stop messing around trying to get rid of half a torpedo. Stop being an idiot.
Exactly.
What else do I have? This one I found really interesting. Duke trumps 3PO. Yeah, so 3PO adds in the evade result, which you now have to physically put a dice in so that they can turn it to a focus result instead. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I find that really interesting actually. I didn't think that Duke should affect 3PO because it's adding in a result, which
Yeah,
feels
well,
like it should be after.
it comes down to what is 3PO, right? Is 3PO an evade token or is he a die result? And at the end of the day, he's a
It does
die
add in a
result.
die
So,
result, yeah.
yeah. So
And
it makes sense.
I
And
have
it's a
no
good
problem
clarity.
with it. It's queer now, but yeah,
Hmm.
Duke does trump 3PO. So that was a good one. Um, yeah, we've already covered the. Did we actually talk about it or no? The Stygian, Stygian particle accelerator
Yeah, the
functioning with
buff.
the cloaking device.
The buff.
Yeah, this is really
Huge.
interesting because it clears up the end phase as well.
Hmm.
There's going to be another flowchart coming. I can see it. The way the end phase works. If you add in a token after the start of the end phase, the clear up section, that token now stays until the next turn.
Hmm. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably this is probably the one reason that I wouldn't have run the particle accelerator on somebody running the scum cloaking device
But it's
without this clarification. But I probably would now.
yeah. So just clarify it for everyone watching in case you've not actually read the FAQ yet. Two ways, that's what we're here for. But if you're running the scum illicit cloaking device, and you also equip the Stygian particle accelerator, if your cloaking device breaks and you choose to decloak, you're not allowed to remain where you are and just discard the token. That doesn't give you the evade.
Right.
You have to choose to do a decloak action. Then you will gain the evade token, and that token will persist into a following round.
Into the following round. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really good. More than happy with that.
Me too.
I wouldn't have minded them saying that you can get the evade for just discarding the tokens. It's that much of a corner case that I don't feel like buffing it a little bit more would have been painful, but time to tell.
Yeah, I've played the scum cloaking device a few times, and I'm going to say this right now. Every single time I've used it, the very first time I went to roll, it went away. And there was, I would say, probably a third of the time I didn't decloak. So it's this. If I had it on there, I absolutely would find a way to make that decloak happen. But yeah, it's been discouraging to say the least.
Yeah. And then the last big winner, and I'm really, really happy with this. I don't know why it was previously ruled the other way, but Gonk.
Absolutely.
Gonk.
You mean the guy with two action headers on his card is now played as if he has two action headers on his card?
Yes. I think it was one of those spur of the moment email responses, which then got disseminated across the forums,
Mm-hmm.
and it's finally been corrected to how I feel like it was intended to work.
Yeah. Well, I think if you even go by just what the card says, I think it was fairly clear that the intention was for you to be able to get back a shield per turn as long as you're willing to give up all of your actions and take a stress for it.
And
so
spend 5 points. 2 on
yeah.
Gonk, 3 on EI.
Yeah. Like quite clearly still the worst regen in the game. We very clearly still bad. But at least there's some regen, right?
Yeah, it's better than the TIE Fighter regen. Com relay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm really happy again. I'm happy because I didn't put Gonk in anything because of that ruling. Now I'm not going to put Gonk in anything because I don't have imagination. But, at least I know it could work in my head.
I've actually been playing a list lately with Gonk in it, and Gonk has actually saved me from half points and saved my ship. In every game, it's either been saved me half points or saved my ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so totally useful. It's awesome.
A winner.
Yeah.
I feel like I want engine on Dengar, so I can't take EI. I don't know if he's worth it on the party bus or not.
I don't think he's worth it on one agility.
Yeah.
I think the only place to put him right now is on the 5,000.
Yeah, and I probably will play him on a Dengar. Now that Dengar's been buffed so much, My big problem with Dengar is I suck balls at rolling dice, and he dies too quickly. I feel like now, just having that extra gonk power.
The nice thing too about putting him on Dengar is the the pilot skill 9 allows you to dodge arcs really well. So if you need a couple turns to regen, you can just really play quite defensively and not take any shots, or take out a lot of out of arc no modifier shots and spend all your actions on regenning for a couple turns. So I mean, it's not terrible, but I still don't think it's going to be great.
Oh no, it's like I said, it is no R2D2.
Yeah.
It isn't
Yes.
Miranda.
What is stupid R2D2?
4 points, man. I still
Even
think
R
so.
even R2D2 crew is still way better because he's free. He just does his thing every round for
Oh
fun.
no, I flipped over. Oh, that direct hit. Oh well, it's there now. I can't take it again. Yeah, I ran R2 when he first came out, but I didn't run 3PO because I had like a soul.
Oh,
I was running R2 and Chewie because this is like really when they first came out, when the CR90 was first released. I was running. Oh maybe I was running 3PO actually. So I was running it on Chewie.
yeah, on
So
Chewy. I feel like you ran a lot of Chewy,
I
a
used to
couple
love Chewie
like
here,
a lot of
and
Chewy.
then
Yeah.
U-boats came out and destroyed Corrin. So Corrin might make a comeback, man. I feel like
Uh,
Corrin. I was discussing. In fact, it was the same Facebook conversation we're having. Um, uh, Someone was worried that Pal Pacey's got nerfed, and I was like, well, it didn't get nerfed, it didn't get buffed, but when other stuff gets nerfed, you get stronger in comparison. So,
right.
uh,
The Gunner Vader thing definitely helps aces for sure.
yeah,
Right. That's
yeah. There's a few, well, like I said, just buffs to aces that happened because other stuff got weaker.
yeah,
The
indirect. Yeah.
the only thing I can see is that if U-boats take a little bit of, the shine off, they're not quite as popular. Corrin can come back, and Paul can come back, and that might help the rebels a little bit. Having those more expensive, any ace that comes in more expensive than Fell, and it's just as hard to kill, is good.
Yeah. I think listening to Nova a couple weeks ago with Paul and his new all PS2 list. If you look at what the K Wing can do to the U-boats, that's the big piece,
Mm.
right? So, do you find a way to put Cornhorn in there with two K Wings, and then if they never have the ability to fire their torpedoes on him, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I think there are ways around it, and I think the meta is maturing into the point where it's no longer the big boogeyman anymore, just like the whole TLT thing from the wave before.
yeah,
And I think we're going to start to see a lot of the old stuff come back, or the stuff, the old favorites from the past 2 or 3 metas.
yeah,
Um, and I think that's just the natural cycle, right? We have the big boogeyman, everybody's scared of it, and then everybody in the entire game starts to build against it. And it only takes time until people start to figure it out how to build against it, and then once you get a couple um, key things that you want to go after to beat that particular list, you just start to integrate them into other lists
yeah.
and into your list building phase.
I feel I said it before U-boats were released, when they were actually spoiled properly, that they'll be good, and they are good, but they're beatable. Even when
Yeah.
they had VR4
Hmm.
shenanigans, they weren't the be all and end all. Good players will win with them, bad
For sure.
players won't, because good players will be able to outfly them. And
Yeah.
I feel like the power paces list is still gonna be the big thing. If you're worried about stuff, need practice against AN list, fly against something with Palpatine, and I'm hoping that the defender shakes that up a little bit. PS1 defenders, X7 can be a bit of a nightmare for some of the aces. Jumping in, doing blocks, they've got raw efficiency. But
Yes and no. I mean, I've played a lot of Whisper and Fell, and I can tell you right now that I
no,
like
Whisper.
just thinking about it. I'm not at all worried about triple defenders with
Oh,
the
not
aces
triple.
list.
I don't. No, not. You can't do 3 of them. Sorry. 3 defenders is obviously the best list in the game. Don't listen to Terrance. But
Yes, it is. Bring it to every regional that I go to from now on, and nationals, please.
but like the aces list I was running had a 28-point Juno. That gets infinitely better with a PS1 defender.
Instead of Juno,
Oh god, yeah.
yeah,
Juno can die in a fire.
yes.
Uh,
How,
or
how is that 7 points you got? 8 points you got in six games? In 5 games?
It was. I think it was 4. I conceded 1.
Oh well, that still counts as a loss.
It
So
does count as a loss, but I got a
that
modified win in game 1. So what's the
that
fucking point?
that must have been a long day for you. I saw the results and I was like, "Oh, Kris."
Makes it better that I was recording stuff for that, and I couldn't leave because I was recording stuff. So I couldn't exactly just go back to the hotel and cry.
So you had to stay there and watch other people play for another 4 or 5 hours.
Felt like longer. It was fine. I mean, I was 7-1 with that list going into that regional, and I'd played in Minneapolis with it against some guys at FFG Center, and it wasn't easy, but it did okay.
Yeah.
And then Whisper couldn't hit for a game. Juno, having to spend her target lock and still only getting 1 hit at range 1 of things, and that's what happens. Yeah,
Been there.
I played a positional game, and the dice didn't back it up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm still sticking with the PS9 Inquisitor though. I really like.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think if you fly him differently, I'm not going to say better because you fly him differently to if he's got push, but if you fly him to be at range 3 and just snipe, just with a target lock, he'll do enough.
Yeah, because he does count as range 1, so he's always got the 3 dice. You're eliminating the range 3. I would say the Inquisitor, like the number of times I've played against the Inquisitor, the easy part was whenever you got stressed. He's not going anywhere. You know exactly where it's going to be. It's going to be an inch away from wherever he's sitting right now.
Yeah, it gets into a fight, goes, oh, get in, target lock, focus, evade. Oh, I'm stressed, I'm doing a 1 hard. Oh,
yeah.
Right, okay, I'm dead.
Well, and thank God I've got auto thrusters for range 1.
Yeah. So
where everything I shoot is at range 1 anyway. So yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. So
I gotcha.
It's one of the things I did. I think we're on Nova again. Paul was saying that you always put push on him. I'm like, no, I'll keep my cheap adaptability, title, and auto thrusters.
There's probably an argument there if you have the points after the rest of your list for VI. Going up to 10, getting past all the aces. I think there's an argument there, but I mean, definitely 9 strong position for 1 action.
For me was because I was running Whisper as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather take a bigger initiative bid.
Yeah.
Ironically, it screws me over more if somebody takes a 10, because I at least could have gone at the same time with the Inquisitor. But it's better having that. More matchups will come where the PS9 initiative bid matters more.
Yeah, and the ability to move either or is big too. I'm a huge fan of that. I played a 999 list for a while. In wave 4 or 5 whenever the Phantom came out, but the number of times that you are able to make those choices and have it really matter, where you can say, I don't want, say, Fell to be blocked, so I'm going to have Fell move right to where Whisper is, and I know that space is going to be open because Whisper is going to move away, and I'm going to move Fell in there. So,
yeah,
there's lots of power in being able to move your aces independently on the same activation. So the same pilot skill.
Yep. I suppose we should drag it back onto topic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You got to mock my dreadful performance at my
It,
regionals.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I didn't make the cut because I conceded. You didn't make the cut because you were shit.
Because I gave up 25 points in the first game. The
Yeah,
first game.
that's why that was the same for me. If I'd got a full win, I would have played out the last game. But I didn't. I got a modified win in my first game. So then all of the others were irrelevant. Because I couldn't kill a one hit point Calf Scarlet with a range one shot from Whisper and a range one shot from Juno.
Cat Scarlet's the real deal, just so you know.
Yeah.
The real deal.
Luckily, have I told you a story? So I failed to kill this Calf Scarlet. Then it's like, shit, I need to actually kill this now. It was supposed to be dead. So I committed Whispers, Decloak, and action into killing Calf. And then he flew her over a rock and exploded her. So Whisper didn't have a shot. So then a decloaked Whisper, because he didn't have a shot, he fired. He fired a range 3 shot from Kenkirk at me, unmodified. Got 3 hits and killed Whisper.
Because you had to take the cloak action because you had nothing to shoot at.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, fun times. Yep.
I feel like that's just your luck. I feel like that's just your luck. Yeah.
That was good. I wasn't annoyed at all in the slightest. I was enjoying to be around all weekend.
And the first game too. So at least you started off on a good high. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh well.
So coming back to topic,
Yeah.
I was thinking, and I've been pushing around some ideas here. Looking at the Ghost, trying to figure out how to make the 4 TLT shots really shine. And I think this really gives a good spot for Ezra Crew.
Yeah.
You've got either Ezra Crew, you've got the fire control system, or you've got fire control in hand, and what's the other option? You've got the accuracy corrector.
I was thinking accuracy corrector. As soon as the change to fire control came out, it's like, there you go, you accuracy corrector those 4 TLT shots. 2 hits, evade it. 2 hits, evade it. 2 hits, evade it. 2 hits, evade it.
Yeah. I think that's it. The only reason I would throw Ezra Crew in there is because anytime you get 2 hits in a focus, that goes up to 3 for free.
Yeah.
And on your primary, that gives you up to a crit. So anytime you're able to use your primary, being able to turn another one up to a crit is always a good thing. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna make Sabine work on the Ghost. Definitely going to do it. I'm going to take Leia, Sabine, and a Connonet. And then 5, I'm going to use Leia, 5k straight in front of Fel, and drop my Connonet on him.
But I thought you said that you wanted to do better than 8 points in your next event.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, in that case, absolutely do whatever you just said.
I'm going to make Leia Crew work in a 100-point game. It's my new mission. If I only need to win 1 game with it, and then I'm going to retire the list.
Yeah, Leia Crew is definitely one I've tried to make it work for sure, but
I wouldn't even take her an epic.
I'd take her an epic. Yep.
300 points can't carry that 4-point card. I don't know. I'm probably going to look at Dengar post this FAQ.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first Jump Master pilot I tried was Dengar. I'm going to try and go back to him now and have a bit of a play around. I'm not going to go super fat on him because I really want to run Guri because I don't like winning. So Dengar and Guri maybe.
I think there's a place for Dengar without the title, with 2 torpedoes instead.
If I
Because
was
you can bring it down you bring down those points quite significantly.
yeah, if I was gonna take torpedoes on Dengar, I wouldn't take extra munitions. I'd take a plasma and an advanced proton.
That's brutal. Of course you would.
It's the way forward.
And that's 10 points, so you really didn't save much.
I'm taking punishing one as well. It's okay.
Okay, of course you are. Of course you are.
Oh dear. And I'll Rec spec and R4 agromech. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, no.
Because I'll shoot at somebody with just my gun when they're at range 1 in arc, get a target lock on them, not spend it. Now when they shoot me back, they'll eat advanced protons. That's the time you choose not to shoot at Dengar.
Mm-hmm. That is the time.
When he's gonna put, 5 hits on you, guaranteed.
If you had extra munitions, you could do it twice.
Yeah.
You could fire it on them, and then if they shoot you, you can fire it at them again.
But you run out of focus tokens.
Not if you got Rec spec with Manaru on the other guy.
Oh,
you can get 4 focus tokens in a turn.
You could go overclocked. Overclocked R4.
And Deadeye. There you go.
Yeah.
It's good. So talking about a list that might actually happen. Deadeye, extra munitions, plasma, recon specialist, overclocked, 43 points. You could even drop Rec spec if you pair him with Manaru. 40 points.
Yeah.
That's a good Dengar build. You don't need those. You don't need the third dice.
But I've got to. It's fluffy.
Leaves you 60 points, buddy. 60 points to put an actual list around him.
Well, I'd spend 50 points on Guri. With advanced protons and a hotshot blaster.
And then go for a 10-point initiative bid.
Yeah.
I like it.
That PS5 ship needs to move.
That sounds like a Kris move.
Okay, maybe I'd drop hotshot blaster and then have a Binary pirate as well.
All right. There we go.
Yeah. I don't think we've missed anything massive from the FAQ. Obviously, feel free to throw some comments on the video and hit me up if I've missed something really, really obvious. I did go through it while we were driving out to a lake to go canoeing today. Fun times. That's why I'm all sunburnt and red. It's Canada Day. I really, really enjoyed it. Mainly because I got a day off with Jill, which hasn't happened for a while. Stupid send me box make me work all weekends. I blame Greg.
I blame your new career choice.
Yep. So, on career choice, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up, all the good stuff. I hope everyone's enjoyed me having a guest and a little bit more banter. So, thanks, Terrance, for joining me on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Having you.
And anytime, let me know. This is a lot easier for me to do than Monday nights since I can do it anytime from my phone. So this is perfect.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again, and we'll cover some lists or something like that. We'll just have a bit of X-Wing banter.
Sounds good, for sure.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching, and
thanks, guys.